So one of the things I was thinking about, as I wonder how to start this place up again, is to host a building program. A program for learning how to construct stuff. And students would pay to come, and they would learn about a wide variety of building styles, starting out with well, there'd be multiple building projects going on at the same time, and I would recommend people stay for at least a month. And I could run these programs from January, February, March, April, May, June. That would work, 5 months. And then after that, my focus is more on plants, and so I think that would work better, is if I just run it for those 5 months of the year. And people could come in for perhaps a 2-week minimum would be fine. Not everybody has a month free. And have multiple projects going on so that people learn a variety of things. Now, there'd be a video library so people can learn about a bunch of skills. They could get certified, perhaps only offer certification if people complete certain sections, tasks, and even get tested. So certifying someone means something. That makes sense to me. And I couldn't really call it a natural building course because I do use concrete. But it would have a focus on natural building. One of the most common materials would be Adobe, which could be made here in small amounts, but would primarily be purchased. And that's because of water issues. And the months I picked are months which I don't have a lot of water. So that does change things. There are some startup costs to it. I would have to get water delivered or have water set aside. Either one would work just fine. Probably want to buy a thing I can haul with a truck that carries water. Although there's ways I can carry water. It would cover building a sustainable house. So it would have solar, rain capture, composting toilet. And I have an example house nearby that some guys built, and they would actually become the teachers for this. There would be no expensive, fancy teacher that gets paid tons. Although I would be paying the teacher about twice his normal rate. That's for motivating him. And he's got a big family that also does construction. So they would be able to help out with that. And I would have to get a translator because those guys only speak Spanish. Part of that would be the rock work for the foundation. We could have sub-courses, and some of those could be optional. You know, when somebody's certified, they could say, well, I'm certified in these things, and then I also studied these things at the same time. So, and we could put them on the web page, and that would be their degree, and then they could be trusted to go and work on some other house for somebody else. And we would discuss other issues like legal issues, because for example in some places composting toilets are not allowed. We'd discuss doing things up to code or not. We'd discuss various ways to do solar power, starting with the simple way, which is just solar panels and then these battery packs that they sell now, sometimes bogusly referred to as solar generators. And we would also recommend different sizes of systems for fixed solar, which is really the better way to go. We talk about solar pumping of water. We talk about managing teams, because some people want to build the house themselves and other people will want to manage a team that does it, or someone else will manage a team, but they just want to understand it. And the students themselves would be paying enough that I don't care if they work or not. You know, my guess is like 30% of them would actually work to some level and help out. 30% would think that they would want to help out but won't. And then 30% will just be there to watch and learn. That's just fine. In addition to the basic buildings, we could also have special programs that build a particular kind of building. For example, I've been interested in monolithic domes for a while, which is a spray concrete system. There's also BIMI domes. I think they're based out of LA. Monolithic domes is out of either Paris, Texas or Rome, Texas. I don't know. Somewhere that doesn't sound like it's quite the original city, but I've been a fan of those for a long time. Not really into using wood as a primary construction material, so that wouldn't even be covered. There's other technologies such as straw bale, which we could certainly do. I think it's in this climate kind of overkill, but people would be coming from other climates, so they may wish to do straw bale. And so that would not be offered all the time, I don't think. But we would have special programs for that. Also, for people who did want to work, and they actually took the course and proved that they could work, we might offer them a position to continue the course as a worker and even becoming more of a teacher. We probably would preferentially offer that to bilingual people. The other thing that goes along with this is plumbing, which can be pretty simple. The guys near me use this green stuff that you fuse together. It's plastic. I kind of prefer copper just because it's a known thing to me, and you do have to buy this stuff to do this plastic stuff. But on the other hand, the plastic stuff probably lasts really well, is probably pretty flexible in an earthquake. So I'm not married to either one of those particular ideas. You know, and the idea could evolve as time goes by. It would start with site selection. Site selection is absolutely critical. Or it might even start with buying land. Now that's going to be different in different jurisdictions, but we would talk about climate and choice of places to be, how to purchase land there, how to select land, how to evaluate it. I think that's important. And then after you have the property, where exactly do you put buildings, and where do you definitely not put them? Because you want to lay out your road system before you decide where to build. And then you want to decide where to put lakes and ponds. You want to figure out all your water flow issues. That's going to be really important. You know, you don't want to take up a space with a house that would be better as a lake. If you have that option. It depends on your climate. And then views are a tricky one, because almost everybody is going to want to build housing at the best view. I am against that. I think that's unethical, because I think that the best views should be shared by everybody. And so what you want to do is put outdoor spaces people can be at and look at the view, and then position buildings back from that which are designed specifically for public use. And ideally 24-hour public use would be great, because you want people to be able to see the sunset there, the sunrise, whatever is available with that view, and even have it be available at night. So have big portals, big porches, that people can sit at any time of the day. And then restaurants and other services there as well that can serve people early in the morning and late at night. So you're maximizing the public access to that view. Then you want to look at where your best garden spots are going to be. Again, with water flow, depending on your environment. And so you almost want to pick, for just regular housing, almost want to pick your worst spots. You should also dig those in. Most buildings should be half dug in. And that's a tricky one. It depends on your slope that's available. But I prefer moderately sloping land. So I guess that gets back to land selection. You know, I know a lot of people come from places that are just dead flat, but they're going to have water issues. You know, I want to have basements. And I want to have root cellars associated with every building. Ideally, I get kind of crazy with it. I want buildings big enough that they're multifamily housing, that have stores available and other services, and that have root cellars associated with them, and restaurants, and everything you'd need in that one building. Composting toilets can be built into larger buildings. I believe that to be true. I know that to be true. And not treated like outhouses. So we would definitely want to make sure that someone in the course learned how to build a small building, but my actual goal is to build larger buildings. So as far as where I would have these buildings be built, luckily I have a lot of space. And so we can make a row of smaller buildings, you know, a circle of them, whatever. And they can have more porches than is reasonable. I think porches are super useful in a climate where we want to encourage people to live outdoors as much as possible. We want to reduce indoor time. This is, of course, perfect for having sponsors. We could select the best products and then contact those companies and say what we're doing. We could produce videos. If we wanted to, we could not allow students to video. Seems a little rude, but I would rather that we have control over publishing the results of that course. And that includes interviews with people who want to be on camera. Not everybody has to be on camera. But making really a full video course of the whole thing. And that will hopefully make money itself. And it's true that if we shared all of our knowledge, we could make our own course obsolete. Nobody would need to go to it. But it'd be a really fun course to go to. And it would be application only. So it's not open to the public. In fact, we probably wouldn't charge for it directly. People would probably have to join an association. And we would interview them, and they could fill out a long form or something to make sure we're only dealing with people we feel like dealing with. But for the world, you know, having good architecture is important to improve the entire world. So I see no reason why we should keep that secret. You know, and I've got a lot of construction books, and I can buy some more on various forms of natural construction. We could do earth bag, also called super Adobe. We could do traditional structures. That would be really fun. Maybe pick a couple a year. There's a long list of things we could make. And so there might be a month out of those 5 where we're focused on the normal stuff, but in addition, doing a special structure. We might even always be doing a special structure. Who knows? I don't know how the thing would grow and develop. And it shouldn't be cheap. Anybody who's participating should be supporting it heavily, because I'm sick of people who don't want to pay anything. If they had to, they could always crowdfund it if they were approved for the course in the first place. So they could still come for free, but not paid for by us. That's the basic idea. It could be pretty fun, and I would get more structures that were better built, and they were comfortable, and then I could move on and host other types of things.